Hi guys, this is Ratchet and we are playing Criminal Case City of Romance, Case 4, Party Like It's 1619 Died. Let's unlock Chapter 3 and High Commissioner is here with us and he's drunk. You live in a fancy chateau off the Boulevard St. Mike. Hick. High Commissioner, we thought you'd gone home. Your loveliness goes on and on, Marguerite. Yes, she does. Are you drunk? Not at all, my dears. Katrina, why are there two of you? Oh dear. Okay, sir, you're definitely 3 sheets to the wind, and then some. Katrina, we can't leave the High Commissioner in this state. I'm gonna have to call his son to come and pick him up. And we are running out of time to catch Marguerite and Joseph's killer, so we better make another sweep of the garden party. Okay. Yeah, her head placed in the bag of fruits and vegetables. That's not something you want to pull out and make a meal. Alright, let's investigate outside. I finally managed to coax the High Commissioner into the Chief's car, Katarina. Hope he's gonna be okay. As for our investigation, I see you found one of the party guests' camcorders. We should unlock it. And we have a letter addressed to our victim, but the rest of the writing is all blurry. I'll grab your dusting kit. This broken plate could also be a clue, I agree. We need to glue it back together. Katarina, you saw the state of High Commissioner. The only thing we could do to help you is to find his former lover's killer stat. Okay. We're gonna unlock the camcorder first. It's unlocked. Katrina, now we unlocked the camcorder. Let's ask Emil to check it for any footage relating to the case. Okay. Okay, let's restore the plate. Who would break it just like that? Okay, picture of the chateau. Alright, Katrina, let's see what's written on a plate you put back together. It says, to Eleanor from Marguerite, commemorating 15 wasted years. So, this plate was a present from our victim to Eleonora Macaron to celebrate time being wasted. That sounds super weird, I agree. We need to find out more from Eleonora. Yeah, what's this about? Okay, let's dust the letter now. Madame D'Anjou, it's with the greatest of displeasure that I submit my resignation as souvenir for the inevitable. Okay, written by the chateau. Katrina, this is a resignation letter to our victim from Cedric to Chateau. He writes, "It is with the greatest of displeasure that I submit my resignation as sommelier for the inimitable estate of Chateau Pompette. Yours indignantly, Monsieur Cedric de Chateau, Esquire." With words like displeasure and indignantly, it doesn't sound like the Chateau was leaving on good terms. We better ask you what happened. Okay, you had enough of your say and now you want to leave the Chateau? What for? Okay, let's first hear from Eleonora. Darlings, fun fact, if you throw some sexy piece into your Pompette champers, you get double the buzz. I don't wanna know the rest. Okay, but listen, we need to talk about this plate Marguerite D'Anjou had gifted you. What does she mean by 15 wasted years? What she little meant was 15 years of showing her prejudice in my face. You see, my dad's been sending me to Marguerite for lessons on etiquette since I was 10. Which is when the beastly woman first started mocking me for my common origins, and never stopped. It affected me so much that I even stopped going to the tennis club for a while, simply because I was ashamed of my lack of noble blood. Nowadays, I don't give a hoot about my roots, but Marguerite Curie still loved to humiliate me, telling me it would be impossible to teach me sophistication no matter how many etiquette lessons I took. But she's headless and I'm still alive, so who's laughing now? Oh, it could be you. Okay, let's hear from our favorite sommelier now. Mr. de Chateau, when we last spoke, you seemed pretty happy working at Chateau Pompette. So what's with this letter of resignation? I was extremely happy working here, until Madame D'Anjou insulted me in a most unforgivable manner. Mrs. D'Anjou insulted you? How so? Caterina, my skills as a sommelier are priceless, and yet the infuriated woman thought it's incorrect to disrespect me by cutting my salary, said I was costing her too much. What's more, I have a penchant for the finer things in life, but with this horrific decrease in earnings, I barely have money to buy the necessities, like my sexy beast Pitiless. But when I pleaded my case to Madame D'Anjou, she did not care a fig and told me I could leave if I was not happy with the decision. Oh la la, I hope I can find another job quickly. I don't want to have to go back to America. Well, it makes sense why she cut your salary because she and her son and her whole family is in debt, so. What's on the camera? Katrina, guess what? I got myself a date with all the girls I've been chatting to online. She's a tech geek like me and everything. Oh, that's great, Emil. But we'll have to talk about it later. For now, can you tell us what you found on the camcorder from our victim's party? Ah, oui. Sorry. I was in an answer there, launching into romantic fantasies when there's work to be done. The footage showed most people having a pleasant time at the garden party. But then the peace was shattered by an altercation between your victim and a member of her staff. Take a look for yourself. Okay. Must we really go through this again? But madame, you really have no idea what you're missing. I'm a dean, I'll tell you for the last time to leave me the hell alone. Just you wait, madame. I'll get my way in the end. What's that about? Oh wow, I wonder what made Mrs. D'Anjou so mad with her chef. Yeah, what did you suspect me by saying she'd get her way in the end? There's only one way to find out, and that's to demand some answers from Amandine Brioche herself. Come on, Katerina. Okay. Alright, let's talk to her. What's this about? Detective Katerina, would you try some of my intensely dark gâteau au chocolat? Making dessert is my greatest comfort when things go wrong. Not now. Then you must have baked up a storm after your argument with Mrs. D'Angelo at the party. How did you find out about that? Look, if there's one thing I like more than cooking, it's making sweet love. I even take aphrodisiac pills to increase my already substantial libido. And as you can imagine, with a face and body like mine, I had great success gaining lovers, both male and female. But the one person who absolutely refused to succumb to my charms was Marguerite D'Angelo. It drove me insane. And I'm afraid to say that my incessant efforts led the madame to lash out at me at the party. Well, Miss Brioche, let's hope we don't find out that you lashed out in return by killing your madame. It's not going to be you. Well, Katrina, turns out a lot of people had beef with the now headless Marguerite D'Angelo. Her sommelier felt highly insulted when she decided to cut his pay, while her head chef couldn't accept that she didn't want to go to bed with her. As for Eleanor Macaron, Arviti has been mocking her lack of noble roots ever since she was a child. I'm not surprised that she's mad about that. You're right, we just need a couple more clues to decide which of our suspects was actually driven to commit decapitation. And since we know the killer was in the castle kitchen, maybe we'll find our answers there. Let's go. Okay. You put the head there, but did you leave something else behind? Katerina, these are sexy beast pills, which we know the killer takes. Let's get a sample of that brown gloop on the packet. And this creative wild game almost makes you want to turn vegetarian. Let's pick through it fast. Okay. Alright, let's look through this. Okay, animals. Oh, a cleaver. That must be the murder weapon. Although I expected something longer to be the murder weapon. The dead animals were hiding this bloody meat cleaver, Katerina. It doesn't look like it's been used on the game, but it's definitely sharp enough to hack off someone's head, I agree. There's only one way to find out if these cleavers are a murder weapon, and that's to send it to Enzo. Okay. Okay, now let's collect this orange thing from the stimulant. What? That was a guess. A complete guess. You're pointing me to the first one. Ah, right next to each other. We need to get this brown sauce from the aphrodisiac pill packet straight to Enzo, Katerina. Okay. Is this meat cleaver our murder weapon? Carrie, when will you finally go on a date with me? I thought you were with the photographer. Had you already got your hands full flirting with Lola the Moorer? Ma bella, you soon realize that I'm very good at multitasking. See, I even had time to analyze the meat cleaver you sent me. Well, that's something at least. Was the blood on it or our victims? It was indeed, which means your killer used this very implement to decapitate your victim. You found your murder weapon. There wasn't just blood left on the cleaver. I also found minuscule fibers which upon further examination turned out to be quality Chantley lace. And since your victim wasn't wearing any lace, it had to have come from your killer. Our lace adorned killer may be certainly elegant, but I won't win them any favors in the courtroom, Katerina. I already noticed that. Alright, now this brown substance. Katerina, I know you're short on time in your investigation, so I'll get straight to the point. First off, that brown substance you separate from the pill packet had traces of Pompet champagne in it, which confirms that the pills belong to our killer. Exactly. And secondly, the brown stuff was a bond to a piece chains and necks irritated by stubble, which means that you're looking for a killer with a stylish 5 o'clock shadow, just like mine. Well, let's just hope that our killer's personality won't be as prickly as their face while we arrest them, Katerina. Okay. Right, Katerina, we've now amassed enough evidence to arrest the person who hacked out Marguerite D'Anjos's head with a meat cleaver. Let's go. Okay. Oh, it was the sun. Is that all because you were in debt, or is there something else with that? Louis D'Anjou, how could you murder your own mother? And in such a violent manner, no less. Goodness me, it would be impossible for me to even dream of beheading my own flesh and blood, especially after what happened to my ancestors during the French Rev. Enough of your history lessons, Mr. D'Anjou. Now, we found your tennis club handkerchief, the very one you used to knock your mother out with chloroform. You would then proceed to cut off her head using a meat cleaver from the kitchen, didn't you? But that wasn't enough, because you then went back to the kitchen and unceremoniously dumped the head in a sack of vegetables. In retrospect, it was disrespectful to my dearest maman, I must admit. So you admit you killed her? I'm afraid so. I had to. You see, I wasn't lying when I said we had no money left in our coffers, which is why I came up with the brilliant idea to turn Chateau Pompent into a luxury bed and breakfast. You've seen my castle. People would sell their grandmother to experience the exquisite life of a noble, even for one night. But my mother wasn't having any of it. She was too proud, said there was no way she'd allow common riffraff into her home. But I could see no other way to prevent my esteemed family from going under, nor for me to continue living the lifestyle to which I was accustomed, which is why it was time for my poor maman to go. Alright, Mr. D'Anjou, but one thing I don't understand is why you had to kill her in such a grotesque way. For the pure theatrics of it, of course. Also, I was sure that dispensing of her head in the kitchen would make you pin the murderer on our sultry cook. Well, I'm afraid your plan didn't work. Louis D'Anjou, you're under arrest. Louis D'Anjou, you stand trial for the murder of your mother, Marguerite. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor, but I did it for the survival of the D'Anjou dynasty. You committed a matricide to protect your dynasty? That makes absolutely no sense. All you did was make it worse, dude, and now you're going to jail for it. If my mom refused to turn our chateau into a bed and breakfast, we would have become destitute. I couldn't bear to see myself and my future progeny end up in the gutter like you commoners. So, Monsieur D'Anjou, you're not only a killer, but also a snob to boot. For the heinous and violent murder of your own mother, I sentence you to life imprisonment. Mon Dieu, a dirty prison. I prefer the guillotine. Well, you deserve the life imprisonment because you killed her in a brutal way. Katrina, a beheading and matricide the same case? Who would have thought it? It just goes to show that people will do anything for money, including so-called blue bloods like Louis D'Anjou. I hope the High Commissioner will feel a bit better now that we put his former lover's killer behind bars. And now that we saw the murder, we can turn our attention back to why we went to Chateau Poupette in the first place. To find my brother. Yes. Alright, we gotta stop here, we gotta continue playing in an American copy, Paris number 4. So, thank you for watching, don't forget to leave a like to this video, and I'll see you again. Goodbye!